facing our retired warfighters. Joining us now, co-founder and board chairman of the Impossible Foundation, Andy Wirth. The organization supports both active duty troops and veterans, especially those dealing with post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, and other neurodegenerative diseases. Andy, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the important work that you're doing. At this moment in time, in the year 2025, obviously the Iraq and Afghanistan wars are some years behind us, but certainly the wounds, both physical and mental, still very real for so many people. Talk to us just about the state of veterans right now in the United States. What's the kind of thing that worries you?
Well, the suicide rates are on a tragic pace, something that troubles, I think, most everybody when they see the realities. And by the way, before I get going, and say thank you so much for having us on this really remarkably important day as we celebrate and honor our country's warfighters. Our focus is on the suicide trends and heightening awareness. I think it'd be fair to say that since 9/11 to 2000X, when we exfilled out of Kabul, there was a heightened awareness of what was going on over there. You recall the days when we would have soldiers walking down the concourses at airports and people would stop and clap, and it was just on our minds. But to your point on your intro, there's so many times each day that warfighters will choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem and take their own lives. And it's silent. It's not something that's even on our minds. And there was about 7,000 tragically warfighters that didn't make it home from Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. 170,000 have taken their lives since the commencement of those operations.
Truly a heartbreaking number there. So tell us what your organization is trying to do.
So build this as I've done a lot of work in the nonprofit world, Jonathan, with Navy SEAL Foundation, SEAL Kids, a lot of great groups, but it kept coming to me, frankly, dear friends that were choosing the solution or on the edge of choosing this temporary solution to a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And so ended up building this as an endowment-like organization that really is meant to be kind of a QRF, a quick response funding source for those organizations that have programs, research, treatments that are helping warfighters escape this trap, basically the swarming demons that have followed them back. And let me make sure you know, it's those with scars that do show, plenty that are scars that don't show, these warfighters. And but there are neighbors, their fathers, their husbands, their wives, their parents, and we need to heighten the awareness, and we need to attack this as Americans. It's complex, but we never shy away from complex challenges, I don't believe.
As someone who comes from a family riddled with alcoholism, who's been sober since I was 19, I often want to ask, what part does substance abuse play here, and what kind of treatment are you embracing for that?
Well, I'm sorry you have that background. Tragically, you're aware of some of the ins and outs. So, number one, there is an abuse of prescription meds that are oftentimes prescribed for depression, pain, you name it, and rightfully so. In other cases, it extends probably too long. Then there's other recreational drugs, including alcohol. In fact, the standing, it's not humorous, but the opiates combined with Jack Daniels, Jack and O. Why wouldn't you take Jack Daniels for that? So that is something that feasibly, and this is actually a pretty key part of this, helps warfighters get faster. They think in their minds. It helps them get faster than the demons that are chasing them, but it doesn't.
Right.
It slows them down. And it makes the demons faster, and they swarm, and all of a sudden, a perfectly irrational solution becomes rational in those moments. And so abuse, substance abuse, addiction can play a role in it, but you still have PTS, TBI, and CTE very much engaged as part of this issue, which oftentimes leads to the prescriptions issue.
And so important to have these conversations and to offer help. Co-founder and board chairman of the Impossible Foundation, Andy Wirth. Andy, thank you so much and for all that you do. For more information, please visit theimpossiblefoundation.org.